How David made use of his angels. Just like Jesus, David was a man that believed in the reality of angels. David kept the angels so busy that he was able to win every single battle he fought throughout his entire life. David frequently dispatched angels to pursue his enemies. The psalmist wrote that the God of Jacob would protect you, that he will send you assistance from his sanctuary, and that he will remember all of the sacrifices you have made. Some put their faith in horses, while others rely on chariots. However, God will defend those who follow the terms of the covenant. Because God is their defense, even when everyone else is falling, they will continue to stand tall. Psalm chapter 35, verses 4-8. Let those be ashamed and dishonored who seek my life. Let those be turned back in defeat and humiliated who plot evil against me. Let them be blown away like chaff before the wind, worthless, without substance, with the angel of the Lord driving them on. Let their way be dark and slippery, with the angel of the Lord pursuing and harassing them. For without cause they hid their net for me. Without cause they dug a pit of destruction for my life. Let destruction come upon my enemy by surprise. Let the net he hid for me catch him. Into that very destruction let him fall. Let those be put to shame and brought to dishonor who seek after my life. David asked God not only to protect him, but also to vindicate him. He wanted it to be seen and known that he did serve and obey God, and that those who opposed him were made like chaff before the wind. Let the angel of the Lord chase them. For emphasis, David prayed twice for the intervention of God's special messenger, the angel of the Lord. Without cause they have hidden their net for me in a pit. David made this request to God, not once but twice, to drive home the point that his enemies were attacking him for no good reason. David could rightly pray that those who came against him did so without cause. Sometimes God protects his people by sending one of his angels to meet our physical needs. One such story is the story of Hagar in Genesis chapter 21. After being cast out of Abraham's household on account of Sarah and Isaac, we find Hagar and her son Ishmael wandering in the wilderness without adequate water. We can pray on the same principle against our spiritual adversaries, the principalities and powers that battle against us in the spiritual realm. The devil has snares, and he has strategies set against us. 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. To keep Satan from taking advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his schemes. 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 7. And he must have a good reputation and be well thought of by those outside the church, so that he will not be discredited and fall into the devil's trap. 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 2. Now an overseer must be blameless and beyond reproach, the husband of one wife, self-controlled, sensible, respectable, hospitable, able to teach. We may rightly pray that the devil is caught in and by his own snares and strategies. 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 26. And that they may come to their senses and escape from the trap of the devil, having been held captive by him to do his will. David then went on to say this, Because you have made the Lord, who is my refuge, even the Most High your dwelling place, no evil will befall you, nor will any plague come near your tent. For he will command his angels in regard to you, to protect and defend and guard you in all your ways of obedience and service. They will lift you up in their hands, so that you do not even strike your foot against a stone. You will tread upon the lion and cobra, the young lion and the serpent you will trample underfoot. Psalm chapter 91, verses 9 to 13. Because you have made the Lord your dwelling place. The principles and promises in Psalm chapter 91, verses 10 to 16, are directed toward those who trust in the Lord, making Him their dwelling place, their source of life and satisfaction. For He shall give His angels charge over you. This describes another way God may send His protection and care unto His people, through His angels, commanding them to keep and bear up His people. The angels of God shall have an especial charge to accompany, defend, and preserve thee, and against their power the influence of evil spirits cannot prevail. These will, when necessary, turn thy steps out of the way of danger, ward it off when it comes in thy ordinary path. Clark. How angels thus keep us we cannot tell. Whether they repel demons, counteract spiritual plots, or even ward off the subtler physical forces of disease, we do not know. Perhaps we shall one day stand amazed at the multiplied services which the unseen bands have rendered to us. Spurgeon. Let us remember that it is God whose these angels are. He gives them charge. From Him they receive their commission.